This episode is sponsored by Manascheduler scheduling software, specifically with artists and studios in mind. Manascheduler is built by artists so they understand exactly what we need when it comes to scheduling. It offers tools like multi-artist scheduling, analytics, client reminders, customized waivers, and entire studio-level organization. It's designed to grow with you, whether you're a solo artist or running a full studio. If you want to spend less time managing schedules and more time focusing on your craft, Manascheduler is a great option. You can learn more by checking out the link in our show notes. Hey, welcome back to the Bound by Art podcast. I'm Missi Blue, tattoo artist, business owner, and your guide to navigating the chaos that is the tattoo industry. If you're an artist looking to grow your business, attract the right clients, and learn how to survive this career without losing your damn mind, then you are in the right place. Every week, I'll be bringing real talk, actionable tips, and hard-earned lessons from my own journey with a side of good vibes and a little bit of sarcasm. Whether you're new to the game, feeling stuck, or you just need a kick in the ass to get that spark back again, this is the show for you. Welcome to Bound by Art. Now let's get to work. Is it just me, or does it feel like everyone is calling everyone toxic these days? Because I feel like I hear it constantly. But when you're the one that's actually dealing with a toxic person, the label does nothing for me. Like, I don't feel like it's useful at all. All it does is make it their problem. Like, oh, they're a toxic person. There's nothing I can do about this. And you're not taking any responsibility for what you can do and what you can control. And you're not making any moves to fix the situation or help yourself in any way. Whether it's at home in your personal life or whether it's in your work environment, in your tattoo shop, in your industry, these types of people can wear you the fuck down. They can ruin your day. They can ruin your life. They can ruin your career. And they can make you hate something that you once loved if you don't do something about it. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to do something about it. I don't want to give that kind of control to somebody else. And I'm not going to let somebody ruin something that I love. And I've spent a lot of time researching and reading about this so that I can do something about it in the future and so that I can protect myself from these situations, from this type of energy, and navigate through situations like this without, before they take over, before they become a big problem. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today, is how to deal with a toxic person. So by definition, a toxic person is someone whose behavior consistently brings negativity, conflict, and emotional drain into your life. Something that I've always believed and something that I always say is you are basically the sum of your actions. So if you have toxic patterns and you have toxic behaviors, you're a toxic fucking person. And, if you're doing bad things and making bad choices, like, I'm sorry, but you're a bad fucking person. So yes, we want to focus on the behaviors, and that is the actual problem. It's not the person themselves, whatever. But for all intents and purposes, they're toxic people, and that's what I'm going to refer to them as in this episode. Some of the behaviors of a toxic person are that they are manipulative and controlling, and they're constantly negative, and they're overly critical and very fucking self-centered and have no fucking boundaries, no regard for your boundaries. They have zero empathy for you, and they make you doubt your sanity, and they make you doubt reality. And they, on top of all of those things, somehow have a victim mentality. So they do all these horrible things, but still somehow they're the one that is being hurt or whatever. It's actually insane. And after the fact, you look back and you're like, how the fuck did I miss all of these red flags? And it's so glaringly obvious after the fact, but for whatever reason, when we're in it, we don't see them and we don't recognize them, and we just keep giving them a free pass. And I think if you're anything like me, I like to think the best of people. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I like to hope for the best. And see the good in people. And I get excited to meet new people or bring new people into my environment. And I always want to think that they're going to be awesome and everything's going to be perfect. And that's just not the way it is. But having that kind of like sunshine, fucking like a hopeful attitude, it does make me overlook some red flags a lot of times. And, you know, sometimes it's just like a normal red flag where you're like, it wasn't a good fit, it didn't work out. And sometimes it's like, oh, fuck, like that person almost ruined me. That person almost ruined my fucking life. So I would like to personally learn how to spot them sooner and maybe limit the amount of damage that they're allowed to do in my life. And it's sometimes so hard to see, but I think that if we can make ourselves aware of what the signs are and what those, you know, signals are, that we can hopefully notice them sooner and do something about it. So what should we be looking for? The overall theme of these behaviors is going to be controlling and destabilizing. So they want to basically debilitate you so that they can control you and they can get whatever they want. And for some reason, you're tolerating them and you're encouraging this behavior by not stopping it. You might not be like, this is great. Please control me some more. And please, you know, make me feel like a bigger piece of shit. So I'll do whatever you say. Obviously, we're not saying that. But what we are doing is saying that this is okay. And we accept this because we're tolerating it. So some of the things to look for. First of all, chronic criticism. So someone who is being overly harsh and negative with their feedback, and they are belittling you or shaming you and tearing you down in some way. There is good criticism, and then there is this. Like good criticism is like, that was awesome. Here's how you can make it better. And, you know, bad criticism is like, you know, that fucking sucked. Why would you do that? You know, like they're trying to make you feel less than. And 9 times out of 10, whatever it is they're criticizing you for is not even based in fact at all. Another one is micromanagement, which is excessive, like you've probably all had a boss like this where they're like excessively supervising you, like attention to super insignificant minor details, things that don't fucking matter. They are trying to control and manage you on every little thing. Manipulation, which, I mean, I think we're all familiar with manipulation, but just in case, lying, pressuring you to get what they want, exploiting your vulnerabilities to get what they want, just basically any angle that they can take to try and get you to do what they want you to do. Passive aggressiveness is another one. As someone who grew up in a house full of people who are passive aggressive, I'm not like this anymore. I think I learned this. This was a behavior that I learned as a kid, and I realized as an adult, I don't like this. So I have become very direct now because I don't want it done to me. I'm not going to do it to other people. So, so passive aggressiveness is indirectly expressing negative feelings like anger, resentment, instead of just openly addressing them. So things like the silent treatment, like, I'm not talking to you because I'm mad at you, but I'm not going to tell you why. You have to figure it out. Backhanded compliments, which that one, by the way, that's me. I used to be a silent treatment person. Sorry about that, everybody in my past. Backhanded compliments, like, oh, I didn't expect you to actually show up on time. Like, fuck you. That is passive aggressive as fuck. Or sarcasm, where they're saying something super mean and shitty, and then they're just following it up with, oh, I was just kidding. Like, calm down. Like, it was just a joke, whatever. Hate that shit too. Pouting and acting upset, but they're saying that they're fine. All of this is passive aggressive. And yeah, I have been guilty of that. So the thing about all this list is there might be a few things here and there that you know people that do these things, but we're talking about all of these things. Like, a toxic person does all of this. They hit it from every fucking angle, and It's all so they can control the outcome and control you and get what they want, because it's all about them. So you might hear some of these things and think like, oh, that's this person, or maybe that's me, or whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a toxic person. They might just, like, I don't know, be a passive aggressive person, or maybe they're manipulative. But yeah, I feel like manipulation is toxic, like, on its own. It doesn't need the other ones to back that one up. Next on the list is gaslighting. So gaslighting is another word that is thrown around a lot, but gaslighting is where they make you question your memory and your perception and your sanity. And they say things like, I didn't say that. You're being crazy. Or why are you so paranoid? Things like that, when you know that you're remembering it correctly, but they're making you question what was said, or what you did, or what they did. And you don't know what's real anymore. It's really fucking frustrating. Another one is gossip. Again, this is one of those things, like, lots of people gossip. That doesn't mean that they're toxic people. They just are fucking gossipy people. But combined with all the others, that's where the problem lies. So if they're talking about someone else to you, I can guarantee you they're talking about you to somebody else. That is just how it works. People like that talk about everyone. So they're talking about them, they're talking about you. Exclusion, intentionally leaving you out or making you feel like you don't belong. That feels like such a high school thing to do. But I've literally seen adults do it. I've literally seen people, full-grown adults, in situations where they purposely leave somebody out, or, will be whispering about something or talking about something, and then someone walks in the room and they're like all of a sudden quiet, like, oh, we don't talk about it anymore. They're here, so they can't be in on whatever our little secret is. And isolation which is a control tactic that uses manipulation and criticism and guilt to isolate you from your family, from your friends, in order to control you. Credit stealing is another one. Knowingly taking credit for work that you've done or someone else has done, or lying about how much they've contributed. Shitty fucking behavior. Emotional blackmail. This is like threats of, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. Or, after all I've done for you, this is how you're going to repay me. Or giving the silent treatment until you apologize for something that you didn't fucking do. And another huge red flag to look for is that they can't celebrate with you, that they can't see you winning, they can't see you doing something awesome or have some kind of thing to celebrate with you. They're going to try to knock you down a peg. They're going to try and, discredit you or make you feel like it's not deserved or it's not that big of a deal, or like downplay it for you, instead of just like cheering you on and being excited for you. They're constantly trying to dim your light and hold you back however they can, whether, it's verbally or, manipulating or just belittling, whatever it is. They don't want you to get ahead. They don't want to see you win, because then the attention's not on them. They're not getting what they want. So why would they encourage you? They're just always going to knock you down a peg when you have something worth celebrating. These patterns are not accidents. They are a message, and they're a message that we need to be listening for so that we can avoid these people and get them out of our space, get them out of our life. And from everything that I've been learning and reading about, what it comes down to is controlling what you can and just eliminating the things that you can't. So what can you do if you have to work with them? Number one, shut it down. Shut it down from day one. When they start to be negative, when they start complaining or talking shit, just don't participate. Don't engage with it. Just not listening to someone complaining or being super negative isn't rude. You can do what I do, which is I ask them to figure out how they're going to solve their problem. So no one that is just a complainer, just a chronic complainer, wants someone to solve their problem for them. They just want to complain. They just want to be fucking negative. And if you just, every time they do this, if you say, Like, oh, how are you going to fix that? Are you like, what are you going to do to change that? How are you going to make that better? They're going to stop coming to you because they don't want to hear that. You're a dead end for them. And that's all they want, is to complain and just to dump on you. And you're not giving them what they want. So they're just going to not come to you. They're going to find somebody else who will put up with it, and not giving them that platform to just spread their bullshit is probably going to infuriate them a little bit. So just be aware of that. But if you don't even allow them to start with that, there's so much less to manage in general. So just shut it down. But, watch out for that little tantrum that's probably coming afterwards. Number 2, don't die in the fight, which means check your own emotions first. So don't let them pull you down to their level. Don't let them emotionally drain you. Don't let them cause you to do things that, are not within your integrity, and choose your battles wisely. So if you stand your ground on something that doesn't really fucking matter, and you just started this whole fight on, on whatever bullshit, like, it's causing you more, it's draining you more than if you just were to let it go. Be like, yeah, whatever, just let it pass. You have to pick your battles. Like, if it's something really worth standing your ground on and really like fighting for, then by all means, like, say something, get involved. But if it almost seems like clickbait, don't fucking do it, Number 3, rise above their behavior. So if their behavior is irrational, don't get fucking sucked into it. Approach it almost like a science project where you are only talking about the facts. You're not getting emotional in it, and they're not going to get the response that they want. So they're going to they're probably going to get really angry about this because they're not getting what they want, but they're eventually going to give up because they're not going to keep fighting you on it to get your attention or get whatever it is that they're looking for, which is that emotional reaction, because they want to trigger the emotional reaction in you so that they can be justified in whatever it is they're doing, which is number 4. Be aware of your emotions. So recognize when someone's trying to push your buttons, and recognize when you start to feel like you're getting angry or you're getting reactionary to whatever they're doing. You have to take the time to think about how you're reacting so that it doesn't escalate the situation. So if they're pushing your buttons, you have to be able to take that step back and be like, okay, they're doing this just to piss me off, and I need to walk away, and I need to not react to this and just move on. Number 5, don't just overlook it, say something. So this isn't a pick your battle situation. This is where they're crossing a boundary. They're doing something that is a definite, like, I'm going to die on this hill kind of situation. This is where you speak up. This is not the time to give a subtle hint. You have to be direct with these people because they don't pick up on those subtle hints. They don't pick up on body language. They're not going to understand that. And even if they did, they're still going to push that boundary again and again just to see if they can get away with it. They're going to try. You might say, hey, like, this isn't okay. They're going to try again next week to see if you still think it's okay, or if they're going to get away with it, because that's the end goal. But you have to just be assertive with them and hold your ground and just tell them firmly and without emotion, without hostility, just tell them, like, this is not okay. Don't do that. Number 6, focus on solutions for yourself. So this is like a situation where so maybe you've established your boundaries. You told them this isn't okay. They continue to do the thing. What can you do? Instead of just tolerating it or dealing with it, what can you do? Can you move your station? Can you change your hours so you don't have to work next to them? Like, what is something that is in your control and something that you can do, steps that you can take to fix the situation? This is going to empower you in a time where they're trying to take your power. And this is going to take a lot of the stress away from the situation. Because for me, at least, whenever I'm feeling super stressed out about something, the only thing that makes it better is if I sit down and figure out how I'm going to handle it. So if I have a game plan for something, I'm going to feel way less stressed out about it. Number 7, don't think too much about their behavior. meaning don't stew on it. Don't go home and think about it. Don't go home and like, talk about it to 10 different people on your drive home and, call your mom and tell her. Don't give them that power. Don't let them in. Just focus on how you're going to handle the situation and move on. Because if you're spending all of that time worrying about them, talking about them, being upset about them, being mad at them, whatever, it's not fixing anything, and it's just making you more miserable again when they're not even around you to make you miserable. So they fucked up your day while you were there, and then you left, and you're still letting them fuck up your day after you've already left. Don't give them that power. Don't allow them to take that much time from you, and don't let them steal your joy. If they have a negative opinion or some kind of snide remark or something they said or did that takes away from you, your self-worth, your whatever it is you're excited about, you have to look at that as that's their problem. That's their opinion. That's not my opinion. That's not my self-worth. My self-worth comes from inside. It does not come from this person's approval of me or what I'm doing. They're not going to take this from me. And in general, I like to think that you're never as good or as bad as other people say. So they always say that, like, don't listen to people that are talking shit about you, but also don't listen to the people who are super hyping you up either. The truth is somewhere in between. So if someone's talking shit about you, someone's shitting all over something that, you were excited about, whatever, don't let that affect you. None of it fucking matters. Especially once you know this is a toxic person, you just have to be like, almost laugh about it. Like, there she goes again. She's being a fucking dickhead for no reason, and just let that be their problem and don't take it on as your own. Number 9, don't satisfy them with a response. And if there's one thing that I have learned from working in a shop full of men for most of my career is that if you don't react the way they want or the way that they are expecting you to, they're going to eventually stop and they're going to get bored and they're going to go away. It works every fucking time. If you work in a shop with a bunch of dudes who are picking at you and like just constantly harassing you and giving you shit. I mean, I'm saying this in a playful way. Hopefully you don't work in a shop like that. But if there's someone who's like constantly fucking bullying the fuck out of you, don't react. That is the best defense. It's like they get bored. They're going to just give up every time. Don't over-explain yourself. They're not listening to you. And the more you try to explain and the more you try to apologize, the more that they're taking all of this information to use against you later. You being super desperate to get them to understand where you're coming from or to accept your apology and forgive, they're going to use that against you, which is number 10. Don't offer an apology. If you haven't done anything wrong, don't fucking apologize for it. The amount of times that people have put me in a situation where I'm like, but I didn't do anything. They're the one that did the thing and they should be apologizing. Why do I feel like I have to apologize? Because they're manipulating you. Yes, there are situations where you have to be the bigger person and apologize first so that you can make amends with somebody. But when you're dealing with a toxic person, that's not it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work with them. If you apologize for something when you've done nothing wrong, or you apologize because you didn't do what they wanted you to do, they're going to take that apology and they're going to use it as evidence of why they're the victim. So you apologize, like, I'm sorry that I did this and I made you feel this way. And now they're like, see, she apologized. She knows she's wrong. She knows that she fucked up and she hurt me. And now I'm the victim. And now look, everybody, I'm being abused in some way. And now you're the bad guy. Like, they're going to turn that around on you so that you're the one that's a piece of shit. And it's not true. So don't fall for that. If you did nothing wrong, if you really like sit there and think about, like, there's nothing I could possibly, like, no situation here Was I the one at fault that I need to be apologizing? Don't fucking apologize then. And number 11, cut them out. Limit your interactions with these people. It literally removes the problem, and just distance yourself. If you can't just completely cut them out, just get some space between you. Make yourself less available to them. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm busy, whatever. Like, I'm doing this right now. I can't talk, whatever you have to do just to get away from them and keep space, between you. And don't respond to their texts right away or at all if that's the way you feel. And, if they text you and are expecting you to immediately respond and you don't, like, you will start to see that those toxic behaviors pop up, because then they're going to get frustrated and they're going to get mad and they're going to try and like guilt you into responding. And you're going to start to see all of this unraveling. And you don't have to respond. You don't have to respond right away. And once you do cut them out, and once you do get that distance, don't forget what has happened. And they don't get another chance. Cut them out quickly, protect your future self, and don't fucking let them back in once you cut them out. Like, I see that happen so often. Like, you didn't learn your lesson the first time. I feel like there's a very low chance that they have changed and that things will be better. And, it would take a lot of convincing for me to believe that. It would take a lot of time, and I would have to see a lot of effort on their part to forgive something like this and forget and move on. I just don't think I would ever let someone like that back into my life. So what do you do if you are the boss and they work for you? You end it immediately. And for many reasons, but when it comes to being a business owner, the immediate reasons are it's poisoning your environment. It's poisoning your shop. It's, the clients aren't stupid. Clients know what's happening. They can feel a vibe. They can feel tension between people. They can see it. They can feel it. Like, it's not a good look. And toxic attracts more toxic. You don't want to create more of the same. You don't want to create an environment that's just like breeding more and more toxic people. And you also don't want to repel people who don't put up with that shit. You don't want to repel the people that are good, that you want in your environment, because if they are any kind of aware, they're going to see this person coming from a mile away and they're going to be like, fuck that. I'm not working with that person. They suck. And the worst thing would be is if someone that you did want there came in, started working with you and this toxic person, and they scare them away. And, they realize they don't want to deal with that. And you start losing people. And that's the worst. And you think they're going to come back? Probably not. At the end of the day, though, you can't control how other people act, but you can control how you react to them, what you tolerate, how you respond, and how much access they get to you. The goal is never to try and like fix them, because I don't think that's possible. And also, not our fucking job. We're not their moms. The goal is to protect our space, our energy, our environment, and our passion for what we do, and not letting those people in and giving them the opportunity to ruin that for us. So pay attention to the patterns and trust what you're seeing. If you're seeing these same things over and over again, it's not a coincidence. It's a message, and we need to listen to it and believe it when they show us who they are. And don't be afraid to take the distance when you need to, and don't be afraid to stand your ground when you have to.
All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to make some moves today. Remember, it's all about showing up, putting in the work, and staying true to yourself. If you got something out of today's episode, share it with a friend who might need to hear it, and make sure to subscribe so we can keep this momentum going. Get updates on all of our latest episodes, events, and more by following us on social media at Bound by Art Project, and by heading over to the website boundbyart.com. Thanks for hanging out and putting up with my shit. I'll see you next time. Now shut up, quit making excuses, and go get better.